Welcome to Brindavan, a Parthasadi family Samarpanam to our beloved parents, a space for enjoying Vaishnava Sampradaya, slokas, songs, Divyadesa Pasurams, and much more. Dear Bhagavatas, Namaskaram. Now we will continue our journey with Thiruppavai, part 3. Thiruppavayum Divyadesam. This is a continuation of part 2, where in Pasurams 6 to 15, Andal Nachiar wakes up all her Sakhis and comes to Nandagopal's house to awaken Krishna to be with him. In this part 3, she has given us several values like the family values, where it is important for us to give respect to our elders and get their blessings before we start any of our work. So she awakens one by one her in laws, and then eventually she reaches Lord Krishna. She also tells us there is always a process for anything to happen. Nothing happens straight in, we do not reach the destination instantaneously. There is a process we pass through each of the steps before we get to the destination. These are Pasurams 16 to 20. We dedicate this to our parents, Rajalakshmi and Srinivasa Iyengar, and Kamala and Seshadri. Our mission of Vrindavan will focus on 4 pathways to Vaishnava-anubhavam: Pasurams and slokas in Santai form, Pasurams and slokas as music, Divya Kshetra Mahimai, and classical art forms. Ramanuja Daya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanathāryam Mande Vedanta Desikam Sri Sailesa Daya Patram Deepatyadi Gunadhamam Yatindra Pravanam Mande Ramyaja Mataram Munim. Thiruppavai part 3. Andal awakens her Lord Krishna and his bandhus, that is his family, and these are from Pasurams 16 to 20. In total, there are 5 Pasurams, and here we get the knowledge of importance of family in a marriage as one enters into lifelong bandha, and it also gives us the code of conduct of how we should respect our elders and seek their blessings before we do anything. And it shows us the staircase pathway to attain Bhagavan or to reach him. And we also share the Perumal and Divyadesa Anubhavam in the Divyadesams in the Archai form. Thiruppavai has 3 Taniyans. The first was sung by Parasara Bhattar. Neela Tungastanagiri Tati Suddham Udbodhya Krishnam Paratyam Swam Sriti Sada Siras Siddham Adhyapayanti Svochishhtayam Srajinigalitam Yabalat Krityabhunkte Goda Tasyai Nama Idam Idam Bhuya Evastu Bhuyaha. The second and third Taniyan were made by Uyyakundar. Annavayal Puduvai Andal Arangarku Panna Thiruppavai Palpadiyam Innisayal Padik Kodthal Narpamalai Poomalai Soodik Koduthalai Sollu Soodik Kodutha Sudarkodiye தொல்பாவை பாடி அருளவல்ல பல்வளையாய் நாடினி வேங்கடவர்க்கென்னை விதி என்ன இம்மாற்றம் நாம் கடவா வண்ணமே நல்கு. After having recited the Tanyas, now we'll start with the Pasuram Anubhav. Pasuram 16. Andal Nachiar comes to Nandagopal's house. In front of the house there is the Koil Kapan or the Jayavijaya. And so she requests them to allow them to go inside. நாயகனாய் நின்ற நந்தகோபனுடைய கோயில் காப்பானே, கொடி தோன்றும் தோரண வாயில் காப்பானே, மணிக்கதவம் தாழ்த்திரவாய் ஆய சிறுமியரோமக்கு அரைவரை மாயன் மணிவண்ணன் என்னலே வாய்நேர்ந்தான் தூயோமாய் வந்தோம் துயிலெழப்பாடுவான் வாயால் முன்னம் முன்னம் மாற்றாதே அம்மா நினேச நிலைக்கதவம் நீக்கேலோர் எம்பாவாய். Here she requests him to open the door and tells him that we have all come to see Mayan Manivannan Krishna, and he already told us long before to come and see him here. And so you please do not send us back saying, giving us several excuses. So please open the door. Here the word that directs us to the Pasuram is Paduvan. Paduvan is related to the story Nampaduvan in Thiruppavai. We will see the story as we go. Thiruppavai is a Divyadesam near Tirunelveli. Perumal Thayar Kurungudi Nachiar Sameda Sundara Paripurnan. Perumal is Varnakalabaram, so you can see him in colorful green Tirumeri. There is no Abhishekam for these Perumal, or there is no Thirumanjanam for these Perumal because they are Varnakalabaram. Thiruppavai is in Mahendragiri in Tirunelveli district, where Perumal Sundara Paripurnan is in the Achai form along with Kurungudavalli Nachiar. One Nampaduvan, who is from the Banar sect, sings very well in praise of Perumal and comes to this Tirukkurungudi every Ekadashi day. So one Kaisika Ekadashi day, as he was going up the hills, a Brahma Rakshas stops him on the way and tells him, I'm feeling very hungry, I need to eat human flesh, I'm going to eat you up. But Nampaduvan requests him and tells him, please spare me, do not eat me up. The Brahma Rakshas does not accept it. So then Nampaduvan says, I am going up to the hills to do my prayers to Perumal. I will do the prayers and come back for sure. Please believe me. The Brahma Rakshas refuses to believe. Then Nampaduvan tells the Brahma Rakshas that I will definitely come back after singing to Perumal, and if I do not come back, I will let me get all the sins of several of the bad actions what people do. And now we will see the list of sins that people get. This is also a code of conduct and tells us what we should be doing and what we should not be doing in life. It mostly tells us what we should not be doing and uh, what mistakes people can commit and how Perumal will take it and what are sins that is going to come due to the wrongdoings. The Brahmarakshas is actually Soma Sharma, who became a Brahmarakshas because of a curse. And Nambadwan tells the Brahmarakshas that he will get 18 types of sins if he does not come back. One is whatever sin if a person is a liar, it comes to Nampadwan if he doesn't come back. Next, the sins that is caused by adultery. The third tells us a way of life again. It says about one who differentiates in the menu between a guest and the person at home when you are eating in a company, which is very wrong. So it tells us how we should treat our guests or the Bhagavatas. Then the next one, the fourth one is if you donate a piece of land to a Brahmin and then take it back after some time, they will get a sin. Let that come to me. Then the next one is if you enjoy the company of a woman during her youthful age and subsequently reject her when she becomes old, it is very sinful. So let that sin come to me. And having performed doing the tarpanam on Amavasya day, then if the person has a physical relationship with his wife the same day, he will become a great sinner. That also let it come to me. So now we see how it gives us the way of life and the code of conduct. The next sin is when the person eats in somebody's house and abuses the host, which is very wrong. That sin will come to me. And then you make a solemn promise to give your daughter in marriage to a person and later you break the promise. That is another sin. He says, let that come to me. And we are prohibited from eating without taking a bath on Shashti, Ashtami, Chaturdashi, and Amavasya. So if you do that, you take food without having bath on those days, it's a great sin. Let that sin comes to me. Then he says, you donate something to another person and you promise, you pledge, but you do not keep up your promise. That sin is wrong. Let it come to me. And if you try to allure the wife of a friend, which is also wrong, let that sin come to me. And if you are afflicted by lust and enjoy the teacher's wife who is responsible for giving you education or the king, it's all very wrong. And so let that sin come to me. So these are about 12 sins, and we have another 6 more, which we will see now. Next, he says if a person marries two girls and evinces greater pleasure with one and rejects the other, it is wrong. Let that sin come to me, which is probably not very apt for today's life. We say that it is monogamy is the rule of the day. And if one divorces his wife, who's very chaste, let that sin come to me. And if there's a person causes obstruction to the cattle which needs water without giving water, that sin comes to me. Then if a Brahmin gets addicted to liquor, steals gold, and breaks the vow, and let that sin come to me, and uh, he worships other deities other than Vasudeva, let that sin come to me. And he says, having understood Sriman Narayana, the supreme deity, he is the inner soul for all created things, both sentient and he is worshipped by all karmas, he tells the Brahmarakshas, and he is to be meditated by all who are desirous of liberation. So he alone has the ability to give us salvation. So let me go and pray to my God, uh, Thirukurungudi Nambi, and then come back, and then you can eat me up. So after I die, I will get salvation. My Sriman Narayana will give me salvation. So when he hears this, the Brahmarakshas gets very moved. He says, when he takes the name of Sriman Narayana, the Brahmarakshas gets moved and he says, okay, you can go eat and uh, pray to Perumal and come back. When you come back, I will eat you for sure. This Kaisika Ekadashi Natakam is done even today as Araya Seva on Ekadashi day as celebrations of Ariganam Dividesi. Now Nampadwan comes to Thirukurungudi and sings on Kaisika Ekadashi day. And Nesa Nilaikadam Niki Perumal or Nesa Nilaikadam, he opens the door and he sings for uh, Perumal. And today, even this Utsavam is conducted in Thirukurungudi on Kaisika Ekadashi day. The drama is enacted and people see the Utsavam. After singing for Perumal, Nampadwan comes back to the Brahmarakshas and says, now I have done my duty, now you can eat me up. The Brahmarakshas is really struck with wonder that this person, even though he knows that he is going to be eaten by me, he has come back. So, what a great person he is. So, he tells Nampadwan, I don't want anything. I don't want to eat you. Give me the palan of the pasarams that you sang today to me. That is enough for me. On hearing this, Nampadwan is really struck. He tells him, no, Vayal munnam maatrade. So don't change what you told me. Told me you're going to eat me up, so eat me up. I am ready for you. But the Brahmarakshas, realizing his folly, falls on the feet of Nampadwan and tells him, I am very sorry. I did not know your greatness. You are so blessed by Perumal, and give me the palan. Then Nampadwan tells him, I see you as a good person. Why are you a Brahmarakshas? Then the Brahmarakshas tells him that I am here because of a curse and I will get redemption from Perumal as, as a relief from my curse if once you give me the palan. Then Perumal appears and releases Nampadwan and gives moksham to the Brahmarakshas. That is the saulabhyam and saucilium of Perumal, of how he takes care of his worshippers, even though the Brahmarakshas was doing wrong things when he became a Brahmarakshas, as he was Soma Sharma. Perumal forgives all he has done and he gets redemption and he gets his moksha. So from this we learn the code of conduct of life, how virtuously we should lead our life, and how we should not do wrong things. What is the effect of doing wrong things? The 17th Pasuram is அம்பரமே தண்ணீரே சோரே அரஞ்செய்யும் எம்பெருமான் நந்தகோபாலா எழுந்திராய் கொம்பனார்க்கெல்லாம் கொழுந்தே குலவிளக்கே எம்பெருமாட்டி யசோதாய் அருவுராய் அம்பரமூடறுத்து ஓங்கி உலளந்த உம்பர் கோமானே உறங்காதெழுந்திராய் செம்பொற்கழலிச் செல்வா பலதேவா உம்பியும் நீயும் உறங்கேலோர் எம்பாவாய். In the previous Pasuram, Andal gets permission from the gatekeeper, the Koil Kapan, and she comes into the palace of Nandagopa and Yasoda Mata, and she praises first Nandagopalan, saying, "Ambarame Tandire, Shore Aranjayum Emberaman Nandagopala." So she respects him as Emperman and tells him that you are a king who gives his praja or his subjects whatever they need according to the needs of each person. So now our need is Krishna, give it to us. Then she calls Yashoda Thayar, saying that if Nandagopala is the king of this place, you are the queen. You are Kumbanarkellam Kurundu, you are the Kulavilakku. You are like a lamp giving light to all of these people at Gokulam, Ayarpadi. And then she praises Perumal, saying, Ongi Ulalanta Perumal. And then she asks the brother, Baladeva, Balrama, that you and your younger brother should come to us. And your younger brother is going to give us moksha. When Andal says, Ambaramudathu Ongiularanda Umbar Komane, Ongiularanda directs us to Ulagaranda Perumal in Kari Srirama Vinagaram. And Thirumangalvar, மூன்றாம் பத்து நான்காம் பதிகம், first Pasuram, you will now listen about Kari Srirama Vinagaram, which is Sirgari, which is near Chidambaram, on the way to Mayavaram. ஒரு குரலாய் இருளம் மூவடி மண் வேண்டி உலகனைத்துக்கும் ஈரடியால் ஒடுக்கி ஒன்றும் தருகவெனா மாவலியைச் சிறையில் வைத்த தாளாளன் தாளடைவீர் தக்க கீர்த்தி அருமறையின் திரள் நான்கும் வேள்வி ஐந்தும் அங்கங்கள் அவையாறும் இசைகள் ஏழும் திருவெல் மலிவிழா வளமும் சிறக்கும் காழிச்சீராம விண்ணகரே சேர்மினீரே. உலகளந்த பெருமாள் காரி ஸ்ரீராம விண்ணகரம். Thayar and Perumal are Sirgari Loganayaki or Mattavir Kudali, Thiruvikraman, Tadalan Perumal. 18th Pasuram. உந்து மதகளிற்றான் ஓடாத தோல்வலியன் நந்தகோபாலன் மருமகளே நப்பெண்ணாய் கந்தம் கமழும் குழலி கடைதிரவாய் வந்தெங்கும் கோழி அழைத்தனகான் மாதவி பந்தல் மேல் பல்கால் குயிரினங்கள் கூவினகான் பந்தார் விரலி உன் மைத்துனன் பேர்பாட செந்தாமரை கையால் சீரார் வளைவலிப்ப வந்து திரவாய் மகிழ்ந்தேலோர் எம்பாவாய். In this Pasuram, after waking up the elders of the family and requesting the brother to give his younger brother Krishna, now she comes to Napinai. Napinai is the mama's daughter or the uncle's cousin of Krishna, who marries Krishna in the Krishna Avataram. So she tells him, it is already early morning, Kodazhaitanahan, and Madi Pangal me, Palgal Kuilanangal Kuinahan. All the cuckoo birds are singing. Please get up and open the door. And as you open the door, the the voli or the sound from your bangles will be very nice for us to hear. Sendamare Kayal, your hand is like the lotus. It's as soft as the lotus. Sirar Valayolippa, as the bangle sounds. Please come and open the door for us. And the Divyadesam Anubhavam in this Pasuram is Tirunariyur or Nachiar Koil, which is a few kilometers from Kumbakonam. Vrindavan has an extended or has a detailed description about Tirunariyur in another uh, video. Thirumangalvar in his Tirumali and Periya Thirumadal sings in praise of Narayur Nambi. First we listen to Periya Thirumali. Pandar Viralal Panjali Kundal Mudikka Paradatu Kandar Kalittu Kadal Mannar Kalanga Sangavai Vaithan Sendamare Melayanode Sivanum Anaya Perimayor Nanda Vankai Marayor Val Nayor Nindra Nambiye. Tirunariyur is a very beautiful place. We also know that is for Kalgaruda. In Periya Thirumadal 43, Thirumangalvar sings thus. Paviyer கென்னொரு நோயான் உரைப்பக் கேண்மென் இரும்பொழில் சூழ் மன்ன மறையூர் திருநறையூர் மாமாலை போல் பொன்னியலும் மாடக் கவாடம் கடந்து புக்கு என்னுடைய கண் களிப்ப நோக்கினேன். As he said, Pasuram inge, Madal ange. At Srirangam, when Perumal asked him to sing, now he sings in Periya Thirumadal about Tirunariyur. In the 19th and the 20th Pasuram, now after waking up the whole family and requesting them to give Lord Krishna, now Andal comes to Perumal himself and wakes him up. குத்து விளக்கெரிய கோட்டுக்கால் கட்டில் மேல் மெத்தென்ற பஞ்சசைனத்தின் மேலேறி கொத்தலர் பூங்குழல் அப்பினை கொங்கை மேல் வைத்து கிடந்த மலர்மார்பா வாய் திறவாய் மாய்த்தடங்கண்ணினாய் நீ உன் மணாளனை எத்தனை போதும் துயிலழ ஒட்டாய்கான் எத்தனை ஏலும் பெரிவாற்ற கில்லாயால் தத்துவம் அன்று தகவேலோர் எம்பாவாய். This Pasuram also tells us the Saujanyam and Saushiliam of Perumal and Thayar, Nappinai Piratti and Krishna. How Nappinai Piratti, expecting these little girls to come along with Andal for Perumal's Darsanam and doing their nombu, she lights up all the lamps around the home. It says Kuttu Vilakkeriya Kottu Kuttu Vilakkeriya. So she lights up all the lamps and she is lying down on the bed with Krishna on her lap. And now Andal says, Krishna, open your mouth and give us moksha. Get us along with you. And she requests Napina Thayar Piratti to wake up Krishna. Maitadang Kandina. She tells her, you beautiful Piratti, un manalare ettanai podum turladataaikan. How long will you allow your Emperman to sleep? Please wake him up. What a beautiful way to request Perumal to wake up and come and be along with them. The Divyatesam, which is related to this Kuttuvilakeriya Kottukkal Kattil Mel Pasuram is Thiruvadavandai. Thiruvadavandai is Agilavalli Thayar Sameda Adivaraha Perumal. This is near Mahabalipuram, very close to Chennai and very dear to our hearts because we have been living in Chennai and had the bhagyam of having darshanam of this Perumal several times. Thirumangalvar in his Periya Tirumazhi sings about this Perumal. We will hear Periya Tirumazhi இரண்டாம் பத்து ஏழாம் பதிகம் முதல் பாசுரம். பெரிய திருமொழி. திவளும் வெண்மதி போல் திருமுகத்து அறிவை செருங்கடல் அமுதில் பிறந்த அவளும் நின்னாகத் தீர்ப்பதும் அறிந்தும் ஆகிலும் ஆசை விடாளால் குவளை அங்கண்ணி கொல்லியம்பாவை சொல்லினின்றால் நனைந்திருந்த இவளை உன் மனத்தால் என் நினைத்திருந்தாய் இடவெந்தை என்பிரானே. Parasar Bhattar also in the Taniyan sings about Neela Tunga Stanagiri Tatti, which is equivalent to Kongai Mel Vaithe Kidanda Malarmarba. So here we can see Thiruvadandai Perumal who is having Thayar in his left lap with so much of vanchai and affection after he brings out Bhuma Devi from the earth below and during his Varaha Avtaram Thiruvadandai for the 19th Pasuram. 20th Pasuram. முப்பத்து மூவர் அமரர்க்கு முன்சென்று கப்பம் தவிர்க்கும் கலியே துயிலழாய் செப்பமுடையாய் திரளுடையாய் செற்றார்க்கு வெப்பம் கொடுக்கும் விமலா துயிலழாய் செப்பென மென்முலை செவ்வாய் சிறுமருங்குல் நப்பினை நங்காய் திருவே துயிலழாய் ஊக்கமும் தட்டொழியும் தன்னுர் மணாளனை இப்போதே எம்மை நீராட்டேலோ ரெம்பாவாய். In this Pasuram, Andal refers to Perumal waking him up as Pandavaduta, Amararka Munchendu, where he goes as a messenger of the Pandavas. The Divyadesam for this is Tiruppadagam, which is part of Kanchipuram, which is just on the outskirts of Kanchipuram, Pandavaduta Perumal, Rukmani Satyabhama Samhita, Pandavaduta Perumal. Now we'll see the Pasuram. Kallar Madil Soor, Kachi Nagarol Nachi, Padagatul Yella Ulagum Vananga, Irenda Man, Ilangai Kon Vallalagam, Villa Almuninda Yendai, Vividanarka Nallanade Namam Solil, Namo Narayaname. The previous and this Pasuram, Andal tells us how Perumal and Thayar are like the mother and father. They are actually the mother and father for all of us in the world. Vasudeva Kutumbam. So we are all part of the family of Vasudeva. Vasudevan. Here, though she sings about Perumal, she requests Thayar to wake up Perumal, which is the way most of us, when we want something, we always ask the mother, because the mother has a softer heart. The father is more a disciplinarian and shows us the valor and how the straight things have to be done. But the mother is always a forgiving person, and she treats us with so much of vanchai, and she recommends to the father to give what the child wants. And the father very ardently listens to what the mother says because he knows the mother is very knowledgeable and she's the Thayar. If he is the Perumal, she is the Thayar, and he rests himself on her. What a beautiful way for us to understand the value of Amma and Appa, the mother and the father. Shetrarkku veppam kodukkum vimala thuyiladai. She says that you give everybody what they want. So get up. Now, in Amalanadipurana, it said, Vimalan, Amalan, Nirmalan, Nirmalan, Nidivanavan. So this very much relates to Amalanadipurana as well of Thiruppavai. And she says, Nappinai Nangai Thirive Thuiladai. She requests the Thayar and how she actually falls at the feet of Thayar and says, Sharanagari, you are the one who should wake up Perumal and make him give moksham to us. With this, the third part of Thiruppavai comes to an end, where Andal shows us the way to conduct our life and how to give respect to people. We see you all in the next fourth part of the Thiruppavai, Pasuram 21 to 30, where it shows about it. She sings about the Perumal's Gunanubhavam and she tells us about Sharanagati and Mahavishwasam. Adiyongal, Dasoham and Dhanyosmi, Parthasarthi family for joining us in our Margai Thiruppavai and Divyadesams Part 3, 2023-2024, where we learnt a lot about the ethical values of life and what we should do and what we should not do, and how we should give respect for our elders and seek their blessings in everything that we do. See you all in our next Vaishnava Anubhavam. Hope you all enjoyed this Anubhavam. With Bhagavan's Anugraham and blessings of all elders, see you all in our next Vaishnava Anubhavam. Thank you for joining us in our Vaishnava Anubhavam from Parthasarthi family. Please share with like-minded friends your Vaishnava Anubhavam on Vrindavan. Adiyongal, Parthasarthi Srinivasan family. Dhanyosmi.